the next match was the Mysterios against The Miz and Logan Paul. And okay, this is one that could have been a disaster with an inexperienced celebrity, right? Logan Paul comes out. They never said how much the Pokemon card was worth. He's got a Pokemon card around his neck in a lucite container on a string, and supposedly it's the most expensive Pokemon card. And one of these days, I'm going to be interested enough to find out what Pokemon is. I know it's some type of card game, and the knowledge ends there.
The card is valued at $5.2 million.
Well, that's what I found out when I read the internet afterwards. What kind of fucking moron? I got news. I don't care whether he's a boxer, a fighter, a wrestler, a fucking guerrilla warfare commando. You got a $5 million playing card around your neck. I'm going to figure out some way to put you down, motherfucker. What the? Bringing out a $5 million card in a building full of 75,000 people. If Tony Chimmel was still the ring announcer, I guarantee he'd have put that in his pocket and he'd have been out at the fucking casino. But anyway, he's got the $5 million Pokemon card around his neck. Apparently he bought it. So that, I could even understand Action Comics #1 for a couple of million. The first appearance ever of the most iconic superhero of all time. And it's now 90 years old or whatever, but a fucking Pokemon trading card from 1997. Anyway, this was as I said, the Miz and Logan Paul against the Mysterios. And I've got to apologize first. I'm sorry, not everybody's relative needs to be allowed to wrestle at WrestleMania. Logan Paul is an athlete, at least. He looks like an athlete. He's had shoot fights. Dominik Mysterio works hard. He can do stuff. You can tell he's put a lot into his wrestling training, but he has put absolutely nothing into his physical training, and he looks like the counter guy at fucking Circuit City. And this is another, and I love his father, great talent, and I've never met this kid, and I'm not trying to fucking bury him as a horrible person, but I don't think that he looks visually like a superstar that should be wrestling on the biggest stage in the entire business. Do you?
He seems very happy to be there. He seems like he's trying really hard. I think, look, that was the debate when he debuted there. Should he go to WWE right away? They'll own the Mysterio name, and he'll be seen right away. Or should he go work in different places, work under a mask, develop himself? He kind of got pushed right to the main roster, and there's a place always in wrestling, maybe more so in the past than today, for the smiling, young, good-looking guy. But I said maybe not today, because it doesn't seem like it gets over the same way it used to. It's a different audience
Well,
makeup.
but hold on now. Terry Taylor was a smiling, good-looking guy and got over in all the territories until he became the Red Rooster. Had good matches, was never the guy. There were a ton of smiling, good-looking baby faces that also,
I agree,
didn't look like they were 17 years old facially and had an athlete's physique. And maybe a mask would have helped him. Why, since Ray wears a mask, why couldn't Dominik wear a mask? He's still got the same body, but at least you wouldn't see that he looks like a fucking high school kid. I mean, the match was not bad here, and
no,
I'm not saying Dominik sucks, but the visual is hard to take when there's so many good-looking, talented athletes out there. But Logan Paul,
sign him.
I'll tell you.
Sign him. Yeah. Sign him now.
Yes. Very shortly after the match started, I said, this guy's got the aptitude for this. A nice power slam. He did a blockbuster. He's doing the moves, but also he's not rushing. He's got the facial expressions. And if you notice, a lot of the celebrities actually tried to sell shit in a more realistic fashion than some of the wrestlers. But again, I watched The Miz. This is the first time I've really watched a Miz match in a long time. I still don't see anything. I don't understand it. Don't get it. But Logan Paul, right now, he could be the top half of the AEW roster. And he's only had one fucking match. So they got some heat on Dominik. Tagged to Ray. He made the big comeback. I like they did the old Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, double vertical suplex, knock one guy out into a roll-up false finish. I've always liked that spot. Tornado DDT by Ray for a 2 count, a big pop. And then Logan Paul does the Three Amigos. And he didn't rush it. You see, boom, the first one, he's laying there, and then the leg goes up. And then they realized exactly what he was about to do. And they hated it. And then he hit a beautiful frog splash.
And he did the little Eddie dance, and that was the touch.
Yes.
He knew what to do. He was great.
Yeah. And then the finish came. And boy, I wish we could play this and dissect it while you're watching the video on the screen, but I'm not sure exactly what was going to happen here. It was close to probably what did happen, but they didn't mean to do this. The Mysterios give the double 619 and hit frog splash and frog splash, right? But as soon as Ray hit the frog splash, Miz was there and grabbed Dom and picked him up for a body slam. And he was apparently, I guess on purpose, going to slam Dominik on top of the pile where Ray was covering Logan Paul, Miz's own partner, somehow to break up the cover. I guess that was odd to begin with, because if you slam a guy on top of his partner who's covering your partner, the guy on the bottom gets the worst of it. But Ray hits the fucking frog splash and hooks a leg and starts turning over, and his face is looking right up, right as fucking Miz slams Ray's son's ass right onto fucking Ray's face. And he sold it, and you get everybody, well, what the fuck? Did you catch that?
I did. I said, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I'm like, and I wrote, what was that supposed to be? And then Miz gets up and gives his shitty version of Dennis Condrey's full Nelson facebuster. 1, 2, 3. So that, obviously Logan Paul had to win this thing because they've got some money in him with the publicity he gets, the following he has, the notoriety, whatever, and the aptitude that he has for this. They need to give him a couple $1 million. But I bet you that chances are somebody, probably Rey Mysterio, asked everybody in the match not to slam anybody's ass on his face anymore. So he just picked him up, body slammed him on the man's face. God damn it. Anyway, so then Logan Paul and Miz celebrate until Miz looks around and turns around and grabs Logan Paul and gives him the shitty face buster. And then Logan Paul turns over like, what the fuck was that? And so did you what was their jealousy here of some description?
I'm sure that'll probably come out on Miz TV or whatever, but if it means we're going to get more Logan Paul, even if it's Logan Paul and the Miz, sign me up for that. This guy.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
He had size, athleticism. You mentioned his facial reactions. He was in it. He was treating it like it was an athletic contest. He was in it mentally. If you watched the way he reacted and moved. They had his brother. His brother's also a big social media celebrity. One of them was on a Disney Channel show that my kids used to watch. They had his brother on the pre-show. He's another one. He's got size. He was cutting promos. He was talking about his brother's going to kick ass. Sign both of them. I mean, it'll cost a lot, but there's so much you could do. These guys are great as wrestlers. I don't know. They probably would annoy the hell out of me as social media personalities.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to speak to any of these people, but I'll watch them wrestle. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, Maybe what they ought to do is make Logan, what's his brother's name?
Jake.
Oh my God, Vince McMahon, another Jake, pal? No. Get Logan and Jake and make them the heel tag team champions. That'll draw you some money, but anyway, and I will be more than happy to watch Logan Paul beat up The Miz also. I'll take that anytime. Anybody that's going to be beating up The Miz, I'll jump on board for that.
Well, you know, Jim, I personally wouldn't mind a Miz feud with Logan Paul because I think Miz can be entertaining. He's hit or miss. Sometimes he's really cringy. Sometimes he's really good. At least stuff I've seen, especially on the mic. Now, I also want to hear Logan Paul on the mic to see what they're going to do. But if you want to see the build-up and not hear it because you hate The Miz, maybe you just listen to something else.
I'd like to be listening to something else right now, but this is what I've got to work with. You know, here's an idea. You see all the fighters and the mixed martial artists and the athletes and everything, they've always got earphones, earbuds, some kind of ear dressing that they're listening to their own music or their own sound of their own voice or whatever they're listening to. They're in their own world. But you can always tell because they got the stems and the wires and the cords and the extension cords, and they're plugged into the wall. You can always tell they got these apparati, that's the plural of apparatus, the apparati in their ear. But with the Raycon everyday wireless earbuds, there's no wires, there's no stems, there's no sticks, there's no seeds. There's just great quality sound inside your head. You can't tell nobody. People standing next to you will not even know that you're not listening to them. You're ignoring the fuck out of them because you got your everyday earbuds in and they look, feel, and sound better than ever. They've even got the new awareness mode for when you need to stop your soundtrack and listen to the surroundings, such as the oncoming train, the blowing of the tornado sirens or whatever, and then you get back to music or podcasts, whatever you're watching. The Raycon wireless earbuds also are going to be perfect for the Paul brothers because they never fall out of your ears. I mean, you can shake, you can shimmy, you can move, you can gyrate and gesticulate. You can hang yourself upside down off the monkey bars. You can take a superplex off the top rope. These things will not come out of your... As a matter of fact, people have been buried with these things because they can't get them out of their head.
That is not true. You will be able to get them out of your head safely. It's just that they won't pop out frivolously as you're entertaining life on a day-to-day basis.
No, they never pop out frivolously. And yes, you're right. The mortician can get them out, but some people...
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Prefer to be buried with them because, you know, like a fond item or a family heirloom or your Raycon wireless earbuds. Just let's put him in the ground with his ears plugged up. Folks, I'm telling you, you can shake your head till you get brain damage and see sparkly things. These won't fall out. They got 8 hours of playtime, 32-hour battery life. You get quality audio at half the price of the other premium audio brands. They've got 48,000 five-star reviews. 47,500 are from Meltzer, but the other people loved them too. And right now, our listeners here at the Drive-Thru can get 15% off their Raycon order at buyraycon.com/JCE. That's BUYRAYCON.com/JCE. Save 15% on the everyday earbuds.